If week one was any indication of what's to come as Bill Cosby's sexual assault trial continues into week two, which starts tomorrow, lawyers on both sides should prepare for more drama both in and outside the Montgomery County Courthouse. Day one of the trial kicked off with the topless protester, Nicole Rochelle, running in front of Cosby early Monday morning, her body covered with the names of nearly 60 accusers. She's an actress who appeared on The Cosby Show, but maintains she never had a negative encounter with the comedian. And though the action outside stole headlines, prosecutors made their opening statement. It included the acknowledgement that Cosby paid his accuser, Andrea Constand, nearly $3.4 million in a confidential settlement back in 2006. Day two, the defense team did not hold back, painting Constand as a con artist who's in search of a big payday. Tom Mesereau calling her not a victim. Wow, the prosecution hit back with its first other accuser, witness Heidi Thomas. She took the stand to describe how Cosby allegedly knocked her out with a glass of wine and forced her to perform a sex act in 1984. Then on to day three, it ended with the defense asking for but not awarded a mistrial. This after another accuser confronted Cosby from the witness stand after accusing him of drugging and molesting her. More than 30 years ago, she looked directly at Cosby and asked him, "You remember, don't you, Mr. Cosby?" The prosecution presented a string of Bill Cosby accusers on the witness stand in the fourth day. Among them was former model Janice Dickinson, who recounted her alleged rape by Cosby, and another former model, Lisa Lotte Lublin. On day five, Cosby's main accuser testified. Andrea Constand told jurors she went to his home in Philadelphia in 2004. She says that Cosby offered her 3 blue pills to ease her nerves. Constand says he began sexually assaulting her. The defense argued there are inconsistencies in her story and questioned why she waited a year to report the assault. If convicted, he faces 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault, each of them punishable by up to 10 years in prison. Our legal experts, Joseph Marrone, Albert Soler, are here to break it all down. Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
I was there for 3 of the 5 days last week. Very busy, a lot going on. At this point, as it stands, let's start with you, Albert. Where do you think the jury is after hearing from 5 women and Andrea Constand last week?
Lauren. Thanks for having us. I think at this point, what we're going to see on Monday, first of all, is the defense continue to cross-examine. I think at this point, what we're seeing is that the evidence is mounting. I think that it's starting to really get to a point where, in my opinion, it's going to be very difficult for Mr. Cosby to get the same result he got the first time.
Joseph, you agree with Albert?
It starts to seem that way, but
yeah.
you know, you take this body of witnesses, these 5 victims as a whole, even though there were inconsistencies and there were problems, they have the common thread. The thread is they all were in the same situation. They all went through the same scenario. They were given some type of substance, a pill or something like that, and they're all claiming that he took advantage of them. That being said, where is this case going as far as the evidence as a whole? We still have some serious damaging testimony coming. We still have the deposition transcript of Cosby's words. I think when this case plays out, we're going to see, you know, that it's going to be something that really Cosby's not going to overcome.
What do you think, I guess, from the legal perspective? You guys are both lawyers. Tom Mesereau is not really, he's going in. I mean, the way he was speaking in his opening statement about Andrea Constand, do you think that plays a part on how the jury perceives Bill Cosby in any way?
In what regard, as far as?
He's very aggressive. He's very loud. He's saying Andrea Constand's not a victim. She's a con artist. I mean, he's going in at her, and a lot of people are speaking about this trial.
I think that technique of being aggressive, of being forward about it, hard cross-examination, showing that there was a predisposed plan. There was all about money. There was a $3.5 million settlement. That's what it was about. This is a feeble man, an older man who was basically taken advantage of because of his fame. That theme is working to some extent. Will it hold up? I don't think he's going to overcome so many stories that connect. There's so much evidence that connects in this case. There's still a deposition transcript that people forget about, where Cosby's own words, he admits to using quaaludes when he engaged in sex with women. The jury's going to hear that. Then we have the mom. The mom is still yet not to testify. When she testifies, she's going to corroborate Ms. Constand's story, and that's going to make it really, really difficult.
Albert, what do you think happens when she's cross-examined, when Andrea's cross-examined this week by the defense?
I mean, you got to remember that the standard of proof here is beyond a reasonable doubt. The defense's only option at this point is to continue to do what they are doing, which is to hammer away the credibility of the witnesses, to make sure they poke as many holes in the story as possible. So what you're going to be likely see is continued aggressive cross-examination to make the witnesses seem like they are con artists, like they have ulterior motives to do what they're doing, and you're going to continue to see that aggressively and aggressive.
Were you guys surprised by how many protesters were outside early in the trial? I know Monday when I was there for the topless protester, a lot of people chanting. Is that surprising to you this time around?
Well, no doubt. I mean, this is all about the Me Too era. I mean, this case represents the Me Too era. I mean, they lose this case. If Cosby wins, the Me Too movement takes a serious blow, right? So it's going to totally dilute what Me Too is about. So we need to see where this case goes. That's why you're going to see this big support. If Cosby obviously loses, the Me Too movement, you'll see a big shakeup in Hollywood from this case, and I think that's where it's going. And really, you know, everybody's sitting back and waiting to see what happens.
And also, just with respect to the Me Too movement, look, it's a very social heavy issue, right? There's a lot of comments, a lot of opinions on both sides. But at the same time, one of the sentiments that's going around with Me Too is the idea that people are being convicted before they even set foot in court, right? So it's a social media conviction before anything has ever been said. And I think there's two camps that feel one way about it, the other ones feel the other way about it. So this has every element of celebrity, salaciousness, and...
But you got to think about where the whole Me Too movement will be if Cosby wins.
Right. I agree with you on that.
There's a complete pushback, and you see everything kind of go back to square one, versus if he loses, the Me Too movement picks up significant steam, and you're going to see a lot more coming out of Hollywood. A lot of these people that have been so-called accused, you'll see it go further.
Got it. Joseph, Albert, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.